Hello, dear friends. Here we are at Cardiac Radio, nourishing our souls with one more immortal messages. We are here live with you to share information that is immortal. It's not only about an instruction for today, but it's about instruction for immortality. And through Chico Xavier, as you can see here in this beautiful background image, Chico Xavier brings to us this wonderful message from illuminated spirits that came from higher spheres to boost our lives to a better life, to better conditions. So, saying that, we want to prepare today because today he's going to give us specific information about mediumistic meetings, especially these obsession meetings, meetings of rescue work. It's good to know. People always ask, like, should I learn about it? Should I learn about the mediumship or not? Yes, you should. Every single person in this planet should learn about mediumship. Why? First, because we're all mediums. How come am I a medium? I don't know. We all feel at some point, as Kardec says in the Medium's book, the influence of spirits. Of course, there are levels, gradations, but this is an inherent faculty of the human mind. It's undisputable. Even William James at Harvard University proved to us that mediumship exists. But of course, people are afraid because to understand about it, you need a new paradigm, the paradigm of the spirit. And for materialistic science, we don't go there. Our science on earth is still materialistic, but they don't say it doesn't exist. And that's the secret. I remember once a student of mine at the University of Maryland asked, Dr. Anzalone, what do you think about people who think about the afterlife? I never told her that I am a spiritist, but of course, if you Google, you're going to find out. And then I looked at her and said, look, scientifically speaking, it's a valid hypothesis. It's a valid hypothesis. Science has never proved that it doesn't exist. And as long as it hasn't been refuted, it's still a valid hypothesis. So scientifically, we're on. Everything that we believe, we're on. Because first, our reason says so. And second, it's still valid. God, spirit, spiritual world, mediumship, everything. So think about it. When people come to you and say, oh, you're dreaming, you're thinking of crazy things, say, okay, prove to me that God doesn't exist. Prove to me that spirits don't exist. Prove to me that mediumship doesn't exist, because science to date has not proved anything to the contrary of it. And we can say more. There are many papers, which is the third reason. There are many scientific papers talking about reincarnation, mediumship. Recently, a few years ago, Dr. Andrew Newberg, in collaboration with Dr. Julio Pérez from Brazil, did a whole research using imaging and the brains of mediums, how they operate. Come on. We are talking about tangible things. There are lots of scientific evidence on many of these things. It's just a matter of using our reasoning. What I often discover is that people who do not want to think about life, they deny all of it out of laziness, because it's a lot of work, out of rebelliousness, out of previous lives trauma. So we don't need to go there, but rest assured, put your self-esteem up, because you're not crazy. You are the people in this world who are ahead of everybody else. And I say this without ego, without pride, just to boost our self-esteem in that regard. You and I know that this is it. I have interviewed hundreds, almost 300 people at Cardiac Radio over the years. And I say to you, day in, day out, science brings to us more and more evidence that everything we have in these books is true. But if you read them, you are ahead of everything. Okay? And not that we're competing, no, but being ahead in the sense you are helping the planet to evolve. And I can prove to you that it's so true because I remember in a scientific meeting, we were scientists, neuroscientists discussing protocols. And this was back in the year 2000. 2000, can you believe it? 20 years ago at the University of Maryland. I remember being in this meeting discussing about hypotheses for our protocols. And I recalled that Kardec showed to us that we are more plastic during childhood in terms of our acquisition of learning experiences. And then I remember Andre Lewis' teachings in the book Evolution in Two Worlds. And then inspired by the spirit mentor Joseph, I told my friends, of course I didn't say that because you can't say that. But I said, friends, how about if we try a protocol like this? We're going to study this according to each and every age, each and every month after neonatal, in the neonatal life. What do you think? I said, yeah, we never thought about it. And then we started studying, successful. We had a paper, we published, and from there, a whole new horizon opened for everybody. So I could feel and vividly live an experience where if you have this knowledge, you can help the advancement of knowledge of organizations on earth. Maybe you're not going to say this, but you are going to be the instrument through which these things happen. So be confident and work with it. Okay? I see beautiful friends here. Welcome, friends. What a joy to be here. I can see many of you. Sol Souza, hello. Hello, Nora Brasil. Hello, John da Rosa. Hello, Stella da Costa. Hello, Daisy Gallen. Hello, Teresa Castro. Hello, Erica. Hello, JC. Hello, hello. Hello, Sunshine. Hello, Tony Torres. Carol Correa. Hello, Carol. Hello, Hipólito. How have you been, Hipólito? Hello, Fred Gouveia. How have you been? Hello, Andrea Torres. Big hug to you, friend. Hello, Susan Kaufman. Big hug to you and the children, the whole family. Friends, this chapter we're going to study today is phenomenal because it talks about spirit architects. And I won't be long, but I'll say the following to you. This message is phenomenal. It came on January 13th, 1959. And his name is Efigênio Victor, and he talks about spirit architects. Now, this message is beautiful but deep. He begins, probably we're going to read and stop, by examining the various sectors of our activities and by emphasizing the value of the contribution of various friends who collaborate with us. It is necessary to emphasize the effort of the spirit architects in our team of habitual works. Pause. What does he mean? Efigênio Victor comes to talk about mediumship meetings, and he says that there are spirits, categorized as spirit architects who come to help in this meeting. How so? He says, clarifying, hello, Karine Rios, welcome here, welcome, welcome. He says, at he used every spiritist meeting that is guided with safety. We have these spirit architects helpfully cooperating. They are efficient and united, manipulating the mental matter necessary for the formation of educational frameworks. So, before we continue, he has a condition. A spiritist meeting that is guided safely. What is it? Go to the Medium's Book by Kardec, item 341. He says, if we want to attract good spirits, and that's the safety of it all, we need, number one, to be on the same page. They need to trust each other. If you are in a meeting and you don't trust, don't be there. It's dangerous. But you know, trust is something we build. It's not a given. If we are in a meeting and we don't trust, we need to ask ourselves, what can I do on my end to trust these people? Because they have chosen to be here instead of being home and doing nothing. They chose to be here instead of sleeping earlier. They chose to be here because they are also seeking the good. They are seeking to help. So give them some credit. Second, we need the Christ consciousness to be the framework of this bonding and making things safe. If that's the case, the spirit architects will come and use our mental matter to create screens in the spiritual realm. What for? Listen to this and you see. Let us simplify the matter as much as possible to understand the necessity of our help, of our aid to these silent workers. And you see, these spiritual architects are there doing amazing things. And we incarnates go there and we think we are the greatest. You know, one of the worst things in mediumistic meetings is pride. It's when I see people who sit down and they think that they're doing wonderful things. We need to go there and bow our heads and say, man, I have to be better today. I can't go to mediumistic meetings thinking that we are doing great. I have always to humble myself and say, they have prepared everything and I need to give my best, but not only during the meeting, during the week. Because if during the week I drop the ball, morally speaking, I'll be complicating the scenario for these spiritual workers. And they are going to dance a Brazilian samba to operate the best as they can to help those who are in greater need than us. Read the book In the Domains of Mediumship. He says, as everywhere, we have a group of people with, here as everywhere, we have a group of people with determined goals. There is in the atmosphere a defined mental center to which all thoughts converge not only ours, but also of those who communicate to us the general tasks. So he says, everywhere where there's a group of people with common goals, it forms a mental center where the thoughts converge and they communicate with the spirits in the spiritual realm to fulfill the tasks. This happens in scientific meetings, religious meetings, business meetings, because your business meetings, pause here for a second. You think your business meetings or your school meetings are of interest only to incarnates? No, because we're talking about the law of progress. We're talking about the fact that the superior spirits want to produce progress through every way and means. So they are inspiring people who are doing business of any kind, not drug dealing. No, that kind of business is not, of course, supported by the good spirits. But we're talking everything else. When you are in your school, and there are business meetings there, administrative meetings, or hospitals, clinics, any kind, small business, medium, large businesses, it involves the progress of the earth at some level. All of us, with the determined goals, this togetherness, we are making associations with spirits that want to boost the progress on earth. So, this mental center that we form with our thoughts encompasses a vast reservoir of very subtle plasma used by the workers to which we refer. So the spiritual architects use this mental matter that we create in extraction with resources essential to the creation of thought forms, constituting entities and landscapes, screens, semi-intelligent things, seeking the transformation of the demented companions we try to rescue. A house like yours, a spiritist center like ours, he says, will inevitably be a welcoming land, shelter in our goals of fraternity, for the discarnates, the sick, the suffering friends, raving in the darkness. In order for them to recover, now here comes a big healing surprise. In order for them to recover, it is indispensable that they receive the help of vivid images on the vague and discontinuous impressions in which they rest. And for this kind of specialized collaboration, the architects of spiritual life are brought in. They operate in advance, consulting the reminiscences of the ones that communicate that should be supported. They observe their past, note their psychological labyrinths in order to create the vivid and moving panels in our sanctuary, though temporary, capable of leading them to mental metamorphosis indispensable for the victory of the good. Now, okay, stop. Here is a major healing step that you can use also for you and other ones. And if I could tell people who are suffering right now of the coronavirus, I say the best thing you can do is to visualize beautiful landscapes. Instead of cultivating the fears and the despair, think of beautiful landscapes, of the higher spirits rescuing you. Visualize it, because that's precisely, right, Carol Correa? It's incredible. He says, These spirits, the spirit architects, are going to come before we are there in the meeting. It's like they decorate, and that's just so not fair with them to say that they are decorating anything. They really build scenarios, panels, screens, frameworks with vivid images that will be boosting in these spirits that are troubled their transformation, which always begins in the mind. And that's why we sit down, we start a meeting, super troubled spirit, and in 10 minutes, they shifted, and you're like, man, that's almost like a miracle, because we cannot access what is happening in the spiritual realm. And time for us is so relative. Einstein showed it to us, the theory of relativity. So it's very important for us to know that the human mind is mostly thinking through images. Even science proves that to us. When we talk about communication, we talk about an action that we put in common with people. So my images decoded and encoded for you, and vice versa. That's why Mentor Joseph says, use all technology possible to reach out to people. Like here, we put this background image here. It's a way for us to feel ourselves immersed into the context from which these messages came to us. So, you think in images, I think in images. When we're sick, when we are not doing well, we need to change those panels to attract new scenarios. So that's going to be an exercise for us in the next 24 hours, okay? In the next 24 hours, choose beautiful landscapes or images that make you feel sublime. Whatever it is it Jesus' picture, the picture of a baby or a flower, of a lavender field, of the world being better, and use that image throughout the day to bring that sublime feelings inside of you. Okay, I will repeat the exercise later, but we're not done with the message because he says, these spirit architects researched the minds of the spirits that will be rescued. What does that mean? That when you sit at a mediumistic meeting, they already have the charts of the people who are going to be assisted. That's why you don't need to evoke anybody. Chico Xavier, you've never heard Chico Xavier evoking spirits. Why? You don't need to. The phone rings from the other plane to us. We can ask, can we help this person and their family? Can we help this discarnate? But if they come, they come. Kardec was different because at Kardec's time, he was researching. He needed to evoke, but even he can talk about the rule of thumb. People only come when they are ready, when they are allowed. The beauty of this all is that these spiritual architects that customize, just like HGTV, think about it. These spirits, they go there, they know precisely what people want. You know, when you see these programs, about remodeling, right? And then they go there and they say, what do you want to see? I want 3 bathrooms, and I want the basement, and I want 3 garages, etc. And they customize the house for you, or they found the house that you want. In their case, these spirit architects, they research the minds of these spirits. They prepare the therapeutic scenarios when we come. Mamma mia. It's like we are really careful and we should prepare ourselves better. He's going to talk about it. He says, in this way, here inside, in our times of action, gardens, temples, fountains, hospitals, schools, workshops, homes, other scenes are formed in which the discarnated companions feel as if they have met the preceding reality, through which everything is made easier for them to reach our words, making them feel in their innermost fibers, and thus favoring our interference to make it effective and beneficial. Did you see what they create with mental matter? True scenarios for the mental metamorphosis of these minds. Crimes, difficulties, problems, tragedies that have remained in the past require a lot of work from our companions on the spiritual illustration so that they can be duly revised, aiming at the protection of all those who visit us in obedience to the outlined plans from high planes. So they are saying these things that the single ideas they're stuck on doesn't change like that. So it requires a lot of work. Do you remember in the book Memoirs of a Suicide, when they are visiting a certain person and she says, oh, I made this house of mine look like my previous home on earth to remind my connection with my parents. Sometimes they do that. They show a certain scenario that is going to be truly therapeutic, but identifiable by the spirit. This is how the mental, neural, psychic forces of our group are manipulated by our designers, spirit designers, in the organization of phenomena that can revitalize the vision, the memory, the hearing, the touching of the suffering spirits who are in mental darkness. Ectoplasmic mirrors and diverse resources are also improvised by them, helping the minds of our incarnate friends who work as the counselor within the gospel of Jesus in order to establish perfect service of harmony between the needy and us. However, for this, so that our action is characterized by efficiency, it's necessary to offer them the best material of our thoughts, words, attitude, and concepts. All caution is advisable in the preparatory effort of mediumistic meetings for this obsession, because we are nurses and instructors, even when we do not have in our field of individual possibilities the necessary remedy or clarification. So they create ectoplasmic mirrors and other resources to help the counselors, the spirit counselors in the mediumistic meetings who are incarnated. So They say, what do we need to do to be better at these mediumistic meetings? Words? No. They say, we need better thoughts, better attitude, better concepts. So we really need to walk the talk. And in spite of it all, they are going to try to derail us, the darkness. But these other spirits are working super hard. Super hard. In truth, through prayer, we become channels of divine help, despite the precariousness of our resources. And in view of this, we must have much peace, caring, understanding, and love, in order that the collaboration of our fellow architects, finding us a safe basis for the formation of the frameworks of which we use in the assisting work. So prayer helps, but we need peace. How can you have peace in a world like this, Vanessa? St. Francis said, "O Lord, make me instrument of your peace." How? Wherever I am, may I sow love where there's hatred, courage where there is despair. Whatever the words are, you know what I mean. By cultivating and being instruments of the good. By understanding, loving. Our word is simply the word of an apprentice, Eugênio Victor is saying. We find ourselves among the most humble newcomers to the spiritual work, but taking advantage of our past experiences, we take the liberty of speaking, commenting on some aspects of our sowing and harvesting that work every day, according to the immortal teaching of the Lord, to each one according to his works. So, friends, here we are. What do we need to do to be of greater help? And if you're saying, I don't participate in any mediumistic meeting, why do I care? Well, the major mediumistic meeting that you participate is every day, everywhere you are. Because the spirits are mingling with us all the time. I was talking to Virginia before she went to bed. And I was talking about the 7 spheres, the sphere of the governance. And she asked, Mommy, but where are the bad spirits? And I said, they're here mingling with us. But Virginia, we're protected. But she said, Mommy, but sometimes they may come and try to derail us from doing the good. And I said, you're right. That's why Jesus said we need to watch and pray. And watch and pray, meaning watching our heart to check if we are being instruments of peace. Because when we have some work to do and we don't do it, we're not instruments of peace. For example, if in your house there's a light bulb that needs to be changed, and you're the one who needs to change. People keep asking, can you change it? Oh yeah, tomorrow we'll do. That's not creating peace, because we're postponing things that are so important for the family, and we're postponing. Let's be of goodwill. Sometimes at work, the boss wants a report. And you don't give the report. You're not being a peacemaker, because you're getting on the boss' nerves. I'm not saying you, any one of us. So being dutiful is a way for us to be of help. People send you instructions. Read the instructions and do what you have to do. And I say this in everyday life. we need to be less needy and more giving. Less needy and more giving. Because we're too needy, and we spiritual workers, spiritist workers, we can't stop to wish attention for ourselves. We need to compromise and say, God fulfills my needs. I'm not going to be there bugging somebody to give me attention if I have work to do to help people. Yield. Give way to people. So these spirits that are being rescued, they are needy people, very sensitive. That's why they became obsessors, because they want attention. They want to be the center of attention. Less needy and more giving, right, Gabriel Inácio? Can we say that study plus serve spiritual peace and progress? I like that. I think so. Right? Yes. So less needy, more giving, because that's what I see. Many of us come to spiritist centers because of our personal needs, and that's okay. But as soon as we find our way into work, we stop and we say, God is taking care of me. I need to stop, being the needy person and be more giving. And I give and I help. And especially, as he says here, I fulfill the duties that are given to me. Oh, but I want other duties. This week, I heard somebody saying, which is very common, oh, that person is doing this work, but I want this work. I don't want to do my work. That doesn't work this way. If you are doing this work, it's because God wants you to do this work. And if you have a complaint, talk to God and say, but God, I think I'm better at that. And certainly he's going to reply by saying, fulfill this duty, and you see, whenever I think it's needed, I'm going to transfer you to that work. But by dreaming of somebody else's work, you're not going to grow. Vanessa, that's too much. I think this message is calling us to greater responsibility. Because in our homes, it's a vivid mediumistic meeting. Vivid mediumistic meeting. At work, everywhere. So it is up to you to find the pathway to this beautiful moment in which you can be an instrument wherever you are in two realms. Counting on the spirit illustrators or silent workers, building these beautiful images. So in the next 24 hours, we're going to give them a hand, okay? We're going to create as much as we can these vivid images of the good. And I'm curious to know what you're going to find out. If you want to share with us, it's beautiful. And I can only imagine, what it is like when you feel something bad and you think of those images and you can start feeling better. So we're going to finalize our study today by creating this vivid scenario together. Okay, shall we? Let's do it together. We're going to close our eyes and visualize. Let us visualize A very therapeutic scenario. Okay. Close your eyes. Breathe in and out. And visualize a beautiful lavender field. Lots of lavender flowers. You breathe in and you can already smell the perfume of lavender. Breathing in and out. Feel yourself walking by the lavender flowers, the lavender bushes. The sun is shining warm and bright. You can even visualize yourself being handed a cup of lavender tea or lavender lemonade, whatever you wish. Drink it and feel the remedies permeating you, mind and bodies. The color of lavender flowers radiating healing light. Bringing calm, serenity, breathe in and out the perfume of healing by the lavender flowers. And feel this serenity entering your house, your home, creating a field of serenity and calm. Breathe in and out and feel the rays of sunlight showering you with invigorating feelings of hope and joy. It's time for serenity, hope, joy. Let us stay there in this beautiful field of lavenders and raise our thoughts. Dear Mother, Father God, what a joy to feel your love, to feel your embrace, to feel your kindness. We pray that this vibration envelop our planet in serenity. Breathing in and out, we feel with you, dear Lord, serene energies. And we thank you for allowing us to learn today the wonderful message by Efigênio Victor through Chico Xavier, leading us into greater understanding about how we can cooperate with you. May the ones who are suffering the most feel the vibrations of these serene energies, soothing their souls or their spirits so they can visualize the help that they need. May we stay under your guidance, feeling your protection as you grant us the permission to close these moments of learning, healing, and also serving. And so be it. In the next 24 hours, let us take this step to move forward into this creation of beautiful, vivid images and use this technique for our own mental transformation, mental metamorphosis. Practicing this, we're also going to be used as better instruments for the good spirits. Whatever you are, a big hug to you. Believe in the good because you are light and you're being called to do the good. Tomorrow, God willing, we will be back for more immortal messages here at Kardec Radio, where we're always nourishing our souls. Thank you, friends. Until tomorrow.